first of all, what's it like to be the governor of the state of New York?
Well, one of the coolest things I ever did here was
I just met this guy in Binghamton. I was in Binghamton. So I travel all over the state promoting independent restaurants.
excellent.
And from Buffalo to New York City, right? So I've been doing it for 8 years. I was just in Binghamton on Monday. There's this kid his family comes over from the Ukraine when he's 6 months old, and his parents are in the community. All these Ukrainians are in the community in Binghamton, but now he's in his young 30s, family, 2 kids, and just started a hot sauce company.
Oh, how great.
And he's had it for I think 8 months, and the business is blowing up. He's doing really, really well. So
Like Anchor Bar type hot sauce, like chicken wing hot sauce, or what kind of hot sauce?
So it's actually really mild. He has a
Okay.
sweet heat and then a jalapeno apple.
Oh, okay.
But
That sounds good. Jalapeno apple. I like the
it's
sound
very
of
good,
that.
yeah. But 100% of everything is made in New York.
There you go.
Not just the glass
York,
bottles, the labels.
born and bred. No.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love to promote business like that. We have Taste New York.
Yeah.
We're always celebrating local restaurants and food from our local farms and distilleries, and we have a great
Yeah.
craft beverage industry going on
sure.
here. A lot of good wines and apple ciders, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yes, if you want something to drink in New York, it's here. It's here. We have everything. We have something for everybody.
Yeah. But I talk to people from outside of New York about how many breweries just alone exist in New York State. They're flabbergasted.
Oh, breweries we're a bar culture.
Yeah, for sure.
When I grew up in Buffalo, every corner had a church and a bar, church and a bar, church and a bar. I mean, this is the Irish Catholic, South
Yeah.
Buffalo. All my family lived there, and
Yeah.
this is how you grew up.
Yeah.
So it's part of our personality and our charm.
Right. All right. So I didn't know this until recently. You graduated from Syracuse University, but you also worked here at Varsity.
Right. This was not my first culinary experience. When I started, I was 14 and a half, 15 years old, and the only job I could find was working at a pizzeria.
Okay.
But it was more than a pizzeria. We made Italian dinners,
Okay.
lasagna, spaghetti. I'd make the meatballs. I made subs. Catholics, you had to make fish fries on Fridays with the greasy French fries. So I was also a short order cook in high school.
Okay.
The waitress, and answered the phone. It was like a 2-person operation, myself and a girlfriend.
Yeah.
We worked for the nastiest guy in the world. And we worked there all those years, all the way to our high school graduation.
Yeah.
And we said, can we take off for our graduation on a Sunday afternoon? And he says, no. He goes, piss on your graduation. If you're not here, you're fired. I had dedicated my entire high school. I didn't have a dating life. I was working there till 1 o'clock in the morning on weekends. I gave him my life, and he wasn't going to let us graduate without fire. So I'm used to tough bosses, but I come to Syracuse, and obviously I'm experienced.
Yeah.
But the only job they gave me here was to be I don't want to say a call girl.
Right.
My job was to call out the numbers.
Gotcha, okay.
When the pizza was ready, number 54, your pizza is now served. Really important work.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things I ever did here was remember the Miracle on Ice?
Yeah, for sure.
Big hockey game, U.S. versus Russia. We beat the crap out of them up in Lake Placid.
Yeah.
Great story. I was here behind the counter when that happened, and I was narrating, giving play-by-plays to everybody here listening to this, because I had a radio, and I was telling them what was happening. So that's my claim to fame in life.
That's awesome.
So being here at the Varsity when the miracle happened.
When you're here, so you graduated in 1980. You go on from Syracuse University to law school, correct? Mm-hmm. When did you start thinking that you wanted to have any sort of a life in politics or government?
Well, younger women, people my age back then, did not think about a life for themselves. I mean, the world was, you're there for some other guy.
For sure.
So I was a staffer for a congressman, and I wanted to become a staffer for a senator. Senator Moynihan hired me when I was 27 to be an attorney on his staff. So basically, that's all I had ever aspired to.
Okay.
But I went back to Buffalo to raise our kids after living in Washington and reconnect with my community. And I saw it was kind of run down. The little restaurants and the shops that were in my town were really hard hit because Bethlehem Steel had left. A lot of the businesses left. My family left, a lot of them. And I had just come back there with 2 little kids and wanted to build a life there.
Yeah.
So I got real involved in trying to promote local businesses and going to town board meetings and trying to ask them to do more things to help the business community. So I was really driven by helping constituents and businesses. So I ran for town board 30 years ago, and then once you're elected there, all these other opportunities came. But I never had a career path to keep going higher, because then you're never satisfied with what you do. You have to love what you do, know that it could be the best job you're ever going to have. And then I just moved on from there to county, to Congress, lieutenant governor, and here I am. But I love it. It's fascinating. It's absolutely. This is the most incredible state, and nobody can match. You know, our diversity, our culinary experiences, the entertainment. You know, we got the Buffalo Bills, which is just everything to everybody.
It's amazing the economic impact that a team like the Buffalo Bills has on bars here in Syracuse.
Oh yeah.
Part of the business is marketing for restaurants. So Harvey's Garden down the hill, awesome place. Actually, former common councilor is the owner of it. But anyways, the amount of sales that bar did, because we're the biggest Bills bar. So this last game we had 450 people in there, shoulder to shoulder, going crazy. It's just amazing how, like, in Buffalo, New York, that team can have such an impact across the state and bars and restaurants.
I've seen it. I was in an Albany bar. It was mobbed. I mean, I walk in and I've got my Buffalo Bills varsity jacket on, my hat, my Buffalo Bills sneakers, and these are people from all walks of life.
Yeah,
They might not agree with me politically, I'll just say that. But you walk in there, you're a Bills fan, and I start going, hey, let's go Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I got the whole place chanting, and I watched up until the end of the first quarter. Then I started getting really, I couldn't be at the crowd at that point. I just needed to go home and process what was going on here. But it was so exciting. But that little restaurant, that little bar, I'm curious, it was a Buffalo Bills bar. People told me they drove from all over the state to come there because they wanted to share in that common experience. But not just here. I have an apartment in in New York City.
Okay.
And I'm there maybe 3 days a week. I got tired of staying in a hotel, so I stayed. But one of the criteria was I can walk to work and I can walk to a Bills bar.
Oh, nice.
And there's literally a Bills bar on the corner in Manhattan that is mobbed with everybody wearing the Bills clothes. Year round they fly the Bills flag.
That's cool.
So all I wanted to do is unite upstate and downstate in a common cause as governor. I found it. It's the Buffalo Bills. Especially when the Jets and Giants are out of the playoffs. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But everybody wanted the Bills in this entire state. Because we're all tired of Kansas City.
For sure.
And that's just how it goes. But it is electrifying. It's a big boon to the local restaurants and businesses and the little restaurants that have a chance to just really shine on a day like that. It's fun. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. What's it like? I mean, first of all, what's it like to be the governor of the state of New York? Because I have to imagine that is can be incredibly stressful and taxing.
I don't do stress.
Okay.
Nothing stresses me out. My mother used to say, go ahead and worry if you think it'll change the outcome. Go ahead. And I tell my kids, okay, keep worrying, because if you think it's going to make a difference. Yeah. But it never does. So it's just a waste of energy. It's an emotional drain on you. You have to have your head clear to make decisions so quickly.
Yeah.
When things are coming out of Washington, bang, 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 bang. What are we going to do? How are we going to respond?
Yeah.
You have to be at the top of your game. So I don't worry. I don't stress. I just deal with whatever's in front of me at that moment.
Okay.
And I thrive in this environment. It's tough. It's competitive. You get knocked around, but it's like being a football player. You have to just get up for the game, and every day is my game. And so it is an honor. It is humbling to come back to the varsity where I was just a kid working behind the counter with dirty jeans and sneakers on, and never dreamed this was possible. This is the American dream for my family.
That's awesome.
Poor immigrants with nothing. My grandpa was a migrant farm worker in the wheat fields of South Dakota because nobody would hire the Irish. My grandma was a domestic servant. When they found the American dream in Buffalo, working at the steel plant, and now their granddaughter is governor. I want this story to be known, not for me, but for others to see the possibilities of what living in this state and getting an education. And we just Onondaga Community College to talk about free college tuition for community college for people want to go into our careers, and we have a lot of openings. So it is a gift. And even just a little while ago, I was up at SUNY Upstate, walking to the emergency room, stopping by the gurneys with really sick or injured people, and just holding the hand of an elderly woman who says, "Oh, you look a lot better in person." I said, "Everybody says that." But I just gave her a moment of joy in a tough time for her.
Sure.
And another young woman had just been in a car accident this morning, and her neck's all tied up, and her husband's all stressed out, and I just hold their hands, and that was just a little while ago. And I get so much satisfaction out of solving problems, trying to make New York better for everybody, but just giving people that personal touch.
Yeah.
And letting them know someone cares about them. So I love what I do. I really do.
How do you balance the needs of like New York City, downstate area versus upstate? Because they're so incredibly different.
They're not in competition with each other. It just requires me to be nimble enough in how I see solutions. Coming from Buffalo, I took the bus to work at Democratic headquarters, an hour bus ride. I'm familiar with public transit, but subways were very foreign to me up until a decade ago, right?
Yeah.
But you live in New York City, the subway is the only way people get around. I mean, it is the lifeline. So I know we have to invest in that and make sure it's safe for people.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I can't focus on I-81 to a highway that severed this community.
Yeah.
When I went to school at Syracuse, this was the dividing line.
Sure.
And now we cut off an entire neighborhood that's going to be brought back into the family of community.
Yeah.
So they're not in competition with each other.
Right.
They're truly not. And for me, to have served as a lieutenant governor for years and years, and a county official and a congressman who represented 7 counties, I know this state.
Yeah.
And so whether it's the rural areas, the farm areas, when I go out and see some young couple that's starting out on a farm, an organic farm, they want to raise crops and work on it, having a little food stand at the end of the street, that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
I'm in the city of New York. It's exciting. I'm sitting here at the Varsity Pizza. This is a great day for me.
I love going down to the city. I usually get down there like 4 or 5 times a year. I'm a little bougie. I fly. So my wife and I have a 2-year-old at home.
Oh.
So I try not to spend too many. If I can avoid it, I'm home at 5.
Yeah.
I don't do weekends. I avoid like overnights, which is a little difficult when I'm trying. It's like the name of the company is Eat Local New York, so trying to cover the whole state.
Yeah.
But like it was just down in Schenectady last week, but I'm down and back in the same day.
Yeah.
So when I go to the city, I try and fly down and back in the same day,
Yeah.
so that way I can hit as many places.
Yeah.
All right, but New York. So you're from South Buffalo.
Well, my family started in South Buffalo. I was born in Lackawanna,
Okay.
Woodlawn, which is
Gotcha.
right near the steel
Yeah.
plant, and then my family eventually moved to Hamburg. So more time in Hamburg then.
So I'm assuming you grew up with like Buffalo style thick pizza.
Oh yeah.
Tons of cheese, cup and char pepperoni.
Yeah, that's right. And I didn't know there was any other way. It's then kind of eye-opening to see, like, what do you mean it's a really flat pizza?
Yeah, right.
So I've been open-minded, but
Yeah.
it's the thick, greasy,
Right.
cheese just dripping all over the place.
Hard to pick up.
The pepperoni that I thought everybody had the shark. I didn't know anybody
Had
did
a
it
couple.
differently. They thought, what do I know?
Yeah.
But I've been making pizza and chicken fingers since I was, like I said, a 14-year-old, 15, working at this pizzeria. So
Yeah.
I can tolerate heat pretty well because, that's what we used to do. But also, I can make a mean sub. I know how to
Okay.
make subs. And even, I don't know, I love food. Not food that people would consider particularly healthy.
Right.
Like, what I'm saying? Like, that's all right?
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be like,
Yeah.
a plate of lettuce. I'm
Right.
not just eating rabbit food.
Yeah, I've learned that if I make a video on a salad, it usually doesn't do very well.
No. You got to see the grease dripping off of Buffalo pizza, and then New
Yeah.
York City's very proud of their pizza. I'll defend their pizza anytime. I was at the Democratic convention. I got into this war with other governors about who had the best pizza. I just said New York. I mean, that's our entire state.
Yeah.
Pick the part of the state with the kind of pizza you like, but I will defend us against anybody who thinks they have better pizza than New York.
So you probably can't pick a favorite, but if you could, do you have like a top 3 of like maybe it's favorite styles or favorite toppings on a pizza?
Well, when I'm in the city, I go to Patty's Pizza.
Okay.
I've gotten to know the owner. There's one around the corner. My husband and I go over there and just, we get margarita. My husband doesn't like a lot of toppings.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been married 41 years. I kind of give that to him because he puts up with a lot with me. Okay,
Yeah.
just put that out there. So, but when I'm in Buffalo, I've got to have the greasy pepperoni on it. But I like some peppers and onions.
Yeah.
And I'll have chicken fingers on it too.
Okay.
Like, why not? And then you put a little blue cheese.
You're in
and
Buffalo,
you've
yeah.
got a full meal on top of your pizza. So
Yeah.
I used to go out to Brunner's Pizza.
Okay.
Not far from the little restaurant I worked at out in Boston.
Okay.
Boston, New York. So Brunner's, they played football with my brother. They own J.P. Fitzgerald's
Okay.
in Hamburg, which is my Cheers.
Okay.
And I'll tell you one story. When I was on the town board, the DOT was going to come in and move them and tell them they had to relocate because the road had to go right through their business. Now, this is where I hung out. My family hung. It was a bar. It was an Irish bar.
Yeah.
I drank there. I ate there. I socialized there. Hung out with my friends there. And they were going to tear it down. So I went down to the state DOT. Before I was governor, I was just a town board member, and I said the old, over my dead body, okay, you're not moving this. You can work around this. So I was there a couple months. Well, I was there over Christmas. I go in, and guess what I made them do? The road in front goes around and curves all the way around in front. They're able to continue to build the new road, but they went around the restaurant that I saved. So when I walk in there, it's like a hero's welcoming because they know I saved them.
Yeah. Is it still there?
Of course it is. Yeah, JP Fitzgerald's. Check it out.
Yeah.
They've got this great dish where it's called the buffalo platter. It's a mini beef on weck. You know what beef on weck is, right? People don't know what that means, but you can explain it to them. A little mini beef on weck. Chicken fingers and chicken wings, and celery and blue cheese. I just walk in, just my regular. Then I've got a taste of buffalo, all in one sitting. I don't have to order multiple things.
Yeah, my favorite pizza in the state is Luigi's in Park Slope.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, incredible. Gio is the owner. His father started it back in the 70s, and tiny place. I mean, there's like a few seats. It was actually in the movie Big Daddy with Adam Sandler.
Oh, wasn't? Oh my gosh. Okay.
And they're big on social media, but it's the only place I've had. I'm sure there's others in New York City. I've done like the little pizza tour, like Lombardi's and all that kind of stuff. It's the only place where like the bottom of the pizza has this incredible like snap to it, and especially their Sicilian style. It's so like light and fluffy inside. And the second place, my second favorite is Peels on Wheels in Rochester.
Okay.
No seats, standing only. He makes so many different styles, but he goes through such pain to make sure everything's local. Where like his chicken cutlet sandwich he does on Fridays, he buys a whole chicken from a local farm, breaks it down himself to make the chicken cutlets in-house. Like he cures his own bacon.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you asked me about my favorite in New York City, like when I go to his Patty's around the corner. But in Buffalo, Hydraulic Hearth is part of the new Larkinville area, which is new like 10, 15, 20 years, but it was an abandoned area. Nobody cared about it. Frank Lloyd Wright had put up a building there, and developers, the Zemskins developed it. Their oven, they have these gourmet pizzas. So very interesting toppings. Like they'll have peas and
like
prosciutto. But just think of all the crazy things. I mean, they're very creative. And when I get home from Albany or New York, I go to Buffalo. We just get a couple of those to go. They have a beer garden outside. We sit outside there. So Hydraulic Hearth, but then Jacoby's has been a long-time favorite. Yeah. And also Ilio di Paolo's for Italian food.
Okay, I've heard of that.
I was there last week. Is
that the neighborhood where like there's the Paolo's Donuts that has like the statue out front?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Right there. And Hydraulic Hearth is down the block from it.
I was there 2 months ago. There's a diner, Red Fern.
No, it's the Larkin Diner. I know. I've been to that diner.
Diner's great.
Did you try their pancakes?
I didn't. I had their donuts and I had their hash.
Okay.
And the hash was really good.
Yeah, that's owned by Howard and Leslie Zemsky.
Okay.
And their friend Harry runs Hydraulic Hearts. And so it's a whole family venture. But they had the vision to take this really abandoned, crappy part of Buffalo. And it's one of the coolest places to hang out now. The New York Times has written about it.
That's cool.
All kinds of magazines have featured it as an up-and-coming area. So they brought in Paula's Donuts, which are the biggest donuts in the world. Are they not? It's like the size of this plate.
They're big. I enjoy Paula's Donuts. I had so many recommendations and places to go, and probably number one recommended spot in Buffalo is Paula's Donuts. I've done it twice, and every time I do the video, I say to the camera, or to the people watching, if I could see myself, if I was a Western New Yorker, I get Paula's Donuts for sure. Like go there, get some Tim Hortons, get a couple Paula's. Like I understand it.
You understand it.
As a Syracusan and like lover of like a yeast donut, I don't fully get Paula's Donuts. Okay. They're great. They're great. But I feel like it is like, I mean, you're fully aware as someone who grew up there. Western New York, like, you have to be a little grittier to really thrive in Buffalo and Western New York. Like,
sure you do.
The snow, the cold, the wind, both lakes.
The football, the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster. Sure, you have to be able to handle what life throws you.
There's a reason Buffalo-style pizza isn't like super thin, crispy.
No. It's got to be bold. And it's kind of audacious.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
So and the donuts, I ride my bike there when I'm home.
Okay.
Through all those neighborhoods, the old, First Ward, we ride our bikes, and it's still pretty industrial. You go over the railroad tracks, and
for sure.
there's shipping trucks are buzzing around. But when you get there, you at least feel like you may have burned off like 10 calories before you
Right.
indulge in a Paula's donut. It's like not as much guilt. It's like when I
Yeah.
have like a chocolate chip cookie, wash it down with Diet Coke, and it kind of neutralizes it, right? That's how I've always.
That's how that works.
That's how it works. Thank God it works that way.
Yeah. All right. I want to be aware of your time, but I do want to talk about. Well, we should probably. Do you want to try the pizza? Is that
Yeah.
All right. So Varsity Pizza. It's like a mix of sort of a New York style. Mm-hmm. It's a little thicker than a New York style.
A little thicker, but I think we need to go for. I think we need to have the chicken wing one.
The chicken wing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can we get a chicken wing
Can
one?
we get a chicken wing slice, guys?
Yeah, I think we need to go. And I'll pay for it. It's my treat, but this is like.
This is great college pie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in. My dorm was right up the road here. You
Okay.
just get the pizza, you run down, you make
Yeah.
some friends, or you're having a bad day, you eat the whole damn thing yourself.
It's like a little sweeter sauce, crust a little thicker.
Yeah, but buffalo would be like
Yes, yeah, buffalo.
thicker,
Yeah.
kind of runnier, messier. Yeah. We have to try this one. All right. Now we're
This is buffalo
now we're
chicken?
smoking with grease.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lindsay, you got my phone, or else I take a picture.
This is a little bit, a little more creativity. This says
for sure.
this says I love buffalo.
Right.
This is gonna be messy, but I'll try it
Surprisingly,
anyhow.
not much flop. for
Whatever you
this,
don't fold it in half because they abuse politicians who fold their pizza in half. Ask some of the people who used to be mayor.
That's pretty good. I mean, crunchy on the bottom, nice vinegar hit with the buffalo sauce.
Isn't that good?
Yeah. That's my preferred style of like wing sauce.
Yeah.
The quintessential buffalo mild sauce. Really buttery, big hit of vinegar in the front.
Yeah.
Slightly spicy.
So Frank's hot sauce. You put melted butter with that,
Yeah.
and this is people would say, what's the difference between hot, medium, and mild? It's how much hot sauce you put on.
Ah, okay.
It's the same sauce. When I
That's
used to make them
interesting.
in high school,
Yeah.
same sauce. So you put it in a container, you shake it up, and if people wants it mild, you only put a little bit.
Yeah.
Hot, you just pour it in there.
Yeah.
But you have to have the melted butter.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I think there might be some vinegar in the Frank's hot sauce.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, I think yes, there
This
is
is from
for
Anchor
sure.
Bar.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what Anchor Bar
Yeah.
is. This is where it all began.
If you haven't, John Young, I don't know if you ever heard that name in Buffalo, Chicken Wing King, and he's got,
Oh, yeah.
they have like the mumbo sauce that's really good. It's like a little sweeter. It's not like your traditional Buffalo style.
Well, they also had the Chicken Wing Festival that they fill
Yeah.
up the ballpark with.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's just,
It's crazy.
That's crazy, yeah. Right around,
Yeah.
it's always around Labor Day, so
Yeah.
that's always a hit for me to go there.
Yeah, for sure.
I make it sound like all I do is go around the state and eat. I actually do work. I have a job.
All right, so I want to make sure, because we've got 2 minutes, I want to make sure giving you 2 minutes is a little ridiculous with what you have to, like the conference from today. But this program, you mentioned it earlier, New York State residents 25 to 55 pursuing a degree in healthcare, engineering, like sought after jobs.
Yeah, advanced manufacturing, like right here in Syracuse, Micron.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the greatest things that ever could have been done, and I'm so proud of this.
Yeah.
And I did not know when I first became governor that I could possibly deliver something as transformational as a Micron coming here. They were looking
Yeah.
to go to Texas and other states. We had to be very competitive, and I was. But 50,000 jobs, $100 billion investment, the
Yeah.
largest investment in history. But I promised the CEO I'd get him the workers.
Yeah.
So now I'm out there like, okay,
Yeah.
we have to get the workers in these fields. So Onondaga Community College, right down the road,
Yeah.
they already have the Micron simulated clean room.
Yeah.
We gave them money to that. So young people are learning the skills now, even before Micron's built.
Yeah.
How brilliant is that? So
Yeah.
they're going to live here. They're going to we're going to build more houses. We're going to need more restaurants. We're going to need some more. This is changing the whole future
Yeah.
for this region.
Yeah, what do they say? It's like 4 supporting jobs for everyone, like factory, engineering, or factory job.
lot of even the construction jobs.
Yeah.
It's going to be built over 20 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like your little 2-year-old.
Yeah.
What's your 2-year-old's name?
Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony might want to work at Micron, either building it or maybe he'll
Yeah.
be the chef in their private
Right.
kitchen.
I
He
hope
takes
not.
after his dad.
I hope he does something better than that. But
yeah,
but
maybe
not that there's
he'll
anything
run
wrong
it
with
someday. Maybe he'll run it someday.
But we take him to the most on Saturdays or Sundays, and like
Yeah.
even there's a Micron thing there, So
this is
Yeah.
this is like Carrier used to be, except
sure.
even bigger. This is the bread and butter jobs, or the steel plants where I come from, where Rochester was Kodak, and
Yeah.
those jobs. But this is the next
Yeah.
version of that. And people don't
Yeah.
realize that this is, people are going to look back and say, wow, this
Yeah.
really saved upstate.
It is wild for me to travel across the state and go to different towns, and I'm like Binghamton was one of those. I'm like, why is Binghamton so, like, what is Binghamton? And, you know, learning that history of business across New York State over time.
Yeah.
IBM, Dick's Sporting Goods in
Yeah.
Binghamton.
That's right,
You
that's
know,
right.
Kodak in Rochester.
People don't know that.
Carrier here.
I mean, Jell-O was invented here.
That's crazy.
In
I didn't know that.
Little Leroy, depending on whether it's
Yeah,
either
right.
Leroy or Leroy,
Okay.
and residents themselves call it different things. But that, I used to represent that area in Congress, and I used to jog around the Capitol with my bright orange, you know, Jell-O is made in my state.
That's
you know,
funny.
I was very proud of all the food
Yeah.
from our state. So
awesome.
you give me a T-shirt, I'll wear it. So no Jell-O, we
Yeah.
have everything. What else could you ever want?
Yeah.
So why would you go to any other state?
Right. I'm going to let you go, and I know you have to go. Thank you so much for coming to
No,
hang
it's
out with
fun,
me.
Anthony.
And
Yeah,
come
good luck
back
with
to
your little 2-year-old.
Yeah, of course.
It's a great age, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's very, he's starting to, yeah. It's
Yeah,
very,
I'd like to meet him sometime.
we taught him to, you know, go Bills.
Good,
And,
good. You raised him well already, yeah.
Yeah, and then I've just started to introduce him to Billy Idol. So now he listens to White Wedding and shouts "Go Bills."
Loving it, loving it. That's how you raise a child in New York.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. All right,
Thank you,
take
appreciate
care.
it.
Okay.